Hey guys, it's Marta. Welcome on this beautiful morning. Today I wanted to take you for a quick walk in my garden. I wanted to show you how the tulips are blooming, but not only tulips. Everything exploded with color and I wanted to share that with you. Let's go. We'll start here in this pot garden. This is a space I've created. This is my garage door, but we do not use it as a garage. It's a room. So I wanted to make something of this space. So I created this pot space to show on my channel how you can grow things in pots. All of them are in pots except this climbing hydrangea that is in the ground. And I'm growing different plants here. Now you will see a lot of pansies, you will see some tulips that are not blooming, some are blooming but most of them are not blooming yet. We'll have some skimia and also those Japanese maples that are beautiful, such lacy leaves. I really love them. And later in the season I will be planting different things here. So I will be planting some annuals, maybe some perennials. I always mix and each year I can have something different. And sometimes I can have the same things depending on what I wish to see in this border. This border gets not that many hours of sun. Now you can see it's in full sun because it's early morning, but after 1 o'clock or 12, it will be in the shade until the end of the day. So a lot of plants that are loving the semi-shade conditions, but I'm always trying the ones that will also bloom for me in this space. I hope you will join me for the rest of the year to see what I will be putting in those pots, and we'll see how it will look through the year. I have so many ideas for this year. Let's go further. Behind me you can see the marriage tulips are almost done blooming, but thankfully you could see that in the last week's video how they looked in their prime. But here everything looks very lush. So here are some parrot tulips, some pink tulips, probably from the Van Eyck series. This year I bought a lot of Van Eyck, Design Impression, Salmon Van Eyck, a few of the Van Eyck tulips and some ballerinas, so did not get that many different types, and also angelic that I have on my terrace, not blooming yet. But I wanted to stick to few varieties that seem to be repeating well. We'll see next year, but they are looking beautiful. And look, behind me is one of my greatest surprises of this spring. These tulips rebloomed for me. I planted them 2 years ago and I was not expecting them to come back because this is a very wet border and I was expecting them to rot. But they surprised me. A lot of them came back and are blooming beautifully. Now I wanted to show you what happens when you go to the Netherlands, to the tulip fields, and you fall in love with a tulip. Let's see what I did with Salmon Van Eyck. So when we were in the Netherlands, I was searching for the perfect tulip. I had all of them laid out in front of me and I was searching for something to catch my eye. And this one caught my eye and I've fallen in love. Dusty pinks, dusty salmon, maybe some cafe au lait mixed in. I just love it. I love this color and each one is a bit different. Some are more intense, some are more dusty, and I love that. And I thought I need a lot of them in the garden. So they are planted in 2 spaces, here and down when you're looking down from my kitchen window. So more of the Salmon Van Eyck tulips are here. I wanted to match them with a Polskerer tulip, but when I was in the Netherlands, the Polskerer had a dark stem and this one has a green one. So I'm expecting something different, but it will be a black tulip. Definitely a later tulip because they are in the same conditions, and this one is just in bad, and those have been blooming for us for more than a week. So definitely not a good match, and the match that they've seen in the Netherlands was fine. So maybe some other tulip similar but not the same, we'll see. But still, those dusty pinks, they remind me of Dahlia Cafe au lait or the rose Coco Loco, those types of blooms that we love because they are not the typical bloom. They were so, in the last few years, they were so popular with the florists, and I also love them. Somehow it talks to me. I love it. I love you. The pastel border in the semi-shade is looking so beautiful. It's like a candy box. I really love it. Somehow in the garden, those sweet candy-like compositions speak to me most. Maybe it's the teenage romantic in me that loves it. I love it, guys. I don't know how about you. I know it's not maybe not nice to talk about your own compositions in such a way, but I don't feel it's mine. I feel like I had an idea and the plants are doing the thing, so I can say how much I love it. This combination is like this. So this border near my wall is a border that has a lot of hyacinths. So they were blooming. You've seen that in previous videos. That was very full, but I cut all the spent flowers and now we have just a few tulips, but those are the tulips that are here, some even more than 6 years and some that I planted 2 years ago. So the one that is blooming all of the years is spring green, beautiful perennial tulip, and the other is double tulip, Gabriela double, that is the name of my daughter, so this is why I planted it. Not all of them came back, but a lot of them did, so I'm really happy. So tulips in my patio did not get the memo from the front garden that is blooming like so much, but here tulips are just starting to bloom, but that's also nice. That part will finish, this one will start, we'll have the extended tulip season. Let's see what happens there. In my raised beds, I've planted a mishmash of tulips. Everything I had as spares, I planted here, so we'll have totally different color schemes. I will also be surprised as you what colors we'll get, because I was at the end of bulb planting and I was like, I will put some here, some here, some here, and we'll see. I like those surprises. I also planted the angelique tulips in the pots, but I planted them around New Year's Eve. So we'll have to wait for another week to see the blooms, but it will be nice, extended tulip season. Let's go further. So my biggest borders need to have a time of tulips. They need to rest because I had some problems with fungal disease, with viruses, and they were suffering. So I'm letting them rest. Some of the tulips that survived are still here, but I will be digging them out because I thought I removed all of them, but I didn't. So I will let them rest. This is very hard for me. I would love to plant them full with tulips, but I would have to remove the soil and plant in a new one. So that is a lot of labor. So we'll see. All of my tulip energy went into the pots, and maybe I will do some islands of tulips next year. So I will remove the soil and then plant the tulips, but that border did not have tulips ever. So definitely in the fall, this will be full of blooms. So not blooms, but digging. So these tulips bloomed first in the garden. They've been blooming for more than 2.5 weeks now, so they are starting to look worse as it happens. This is what is gardening is all about. Plants bloom and then they start to look a bit scraggly. Then you have to remove the stems with the flowers and let the leaves dry out. Van Eyck tulips were wonderful. When it was hot, they were more red. When it was colder, they were more raspberry pink. Looked beautiful. We also have ballerina tulip, that is a lily-shaped tulip, wonderful tulip that has a beautiful freesia scent. So if you're looking for a tulip you can smell and the scent wandering around, this is a tulip to go to. This is a orange tulip. And now in a week or so, when they will not be looking nice at all, I will be just removing the flower stems composting this what was here, and then you need to let the leaves dry out and remove them when they are totally dry. This is why I'm always underplanting my tulips with perennials, because they will cover the drying leaves, and if I see a bit of dry, sometimes I cut it when it makes me like, oh, and I want to see some lush green, and then you have those dry leaves. They don't look too pretty, but this gives the bulb the energy for next year, so it's good to leave them like this. This is nice about having tulips in pots, because you can hide the pot, put something else there, and you can put the pot in a space that you do not look at during your beautiful garden walks. So I found something. You will see this is a virus on a tulip. It changes the petals. This is how it should look like, and this is like flaming tulip. You can see a different shapes on it, like a fire. So this is interesting. In the old times, those tulips were deemed most precious. The people were ready to pay huge amounts for those kind of tulips. But this is not good for the tulip. This is a virus, and you should remove also those bulbs in the tulip fields. They are searching for those, and they are removing them because it weakens the bulb for the next years to come, and it can spread through the soil. So this is the interesting fact about the tulips. So here are some tulips that were supposed to be mentons. They are definitely not mentons. They are very, very orange, but they are looking beautiful. Not my favorite color, but that was this prime spot that I gave for the mentons, which I love. Ugh, that happens. This happens very often with tulip bulbs. Magnolia, as you can see, is dropping all her petals. I'm collecting them by hand or with a grass mower, and my full compost bin is it is full, but it is also full with the magnolia petals. Beautiful composting material. So here are some of the last tulips in this border. They were planted 2 years ago. I believe this is design impression, if I remember correctly. But this border, this part has been tulip free for almost 2 years. So I'm hoping for the fall to plant some more of them. We'll see. Maybe I will be just digging a bit more of the soil and digging some bulbs in. The back border was full of blooms in the previous years, so I'm really hoping for more the next year. I hope you enjoyed this tulip tour. I'm really looking forward to the ones that are not blooming yet. I am leaving for a few days, and I'm recording this a bit earlier, so I'm hoping that when I come back I will be able to enjoy those blooms, because a week in tulips life, that is a lot. Like, I'm missing a bit of their wonderful season. So hopefully I will see some. If you like today's video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. We'll be showing you beautiful compositions with annuals for this year. I'm having so many ideas for the new pots, doing some things I did in the previous years, but a lot of new things. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss on all of those beautiful blooms. See you in the next one. Bye.